Dear Divine Ones, this is lesson number 10. My thoughts do not mean anything. This idea applies to all the thoughts of which you are aware or become aware in the practice periods. The reason the idea is applicable to all of them is that they are not your real thoughts. We have made this distinction before and will do so again. You have no basis for comparison as yet. When you do, you will have no doubt that what you once believed were your thoughts did not mean anything. This is the second time we have used this kind of idea. The form is only slightly different. This time the idea is introduced with my thoughts instead of these thoughts, and no link is made overtly with the things around you. The emphasis is now on the lack of reality of what you think you think. This aspect of the correction process began with the idea that the thoughts of which you are aware are meaningless, outside rather than within, and then stressed their past rather than their present status. Now we are emphasizing that the presence of these thoughts means that you are not thinking. This is merely another way of repeating our earlier statement that your mind is really blank, that your mind is really a blank. To recognize this is to recognize nothingness when you think you see it. As such, it is the prerequisite for vision. Close your eyes for these exercises and introduce them by repeating the idea for today quite slowly to yourself. My thoughts do not mean anything. Then add, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. The exercises consist, as before, in searching your mind for all the thoughts that are available to you without selection or judgment. Try to avoid classification of any kind. In fact, if you find it helpful to do so, you might imagine that you are watching an oddly assorted procession going by, which has little, if any, personal meaning to you. As each one crosses your mind, say, my thought about blank does not mean anything. My thought about blank does not mean anything. So inhaling, just practicing this idea with whatever is there in your mind. Today's thoughts can obviously serve for any thought that distresses you at any time. In addition, 5 practice periods are recommended, each involving no more than a minute or so of mind searching. It is recommended that this time period be extended. It is not recommended that this time period be extended, and it should be reduced to half a minute or less if you experience discomfort. Remember, however, to repeat the idea slowly before applying it specifically, and also to add, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thoughts do not mean anything. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thoughts do not mean anything. My thoughts do not mean anything. My thoughts do not mean anything. Release me from all that I believe. Release me from all I now believe. So this is quite a wonderful lesson, isn't it? That we can carry with us in every moment. And everything that crosses our minds that we think we believe, we can question it. We can say, this thing I'm thinking about, this person or what they said doesn't mean anything. Right? Because it also catches us again going into the past. So we're watching these thoughts and we're thinking, we're catching ourselves and saying, this thought doesn't mean anything. This thought about this person, this worry about the future, this concern, how am I going to do this? How is my partner going to react? All these things are not actually here now. So that's why they don't mean anything. And if someone says something that your mind doesn't like, instead of reacting to it, instead of bringing your fear into it, you can just say, maybe they're having a bad day, who knows what's been happening, and these thoughts, these words do not mean anything. So again, we're coming back into presence. Again, we're watching how much our mind is ruminating on nothingness, right? Do you want to create out of this rumination of what you didn't like that someone says? Is that what you want to spend your precious time doing? So start to catch the mind, because it's very addicted to this behavior. As soon as something comes up, it's like a dog chewing on a bone. It's happy to find something to accuse someone of, whether it's yourself or someone else. So just watching the mind and saying, I'm not going to believe this anymore. I'm going to ask to be released from these beliefs that don't feel good, that are not kind to myself, and that are not kind to everyone else. My favorite quote from Ken Wapnick is, kindness is the way to awaken. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow.